Hey, good morning or good afternoon, folks. This is attorney Roger P. Foley, and driving in my car, just left court a little while ago. But I wanted to talk to you about calling a defense attorney's office and being conclusionary. And what do I mean by that? Well, oftentimes, I get a lot of calls. I get, hundreds of calls per week. I talk to a lot of people. And one of the things, maybe it's a pet peeve. Maybe other attorneys dislike it too. I don't know. But ultimately, when a prospective client calls your office and starts telling you what the police did wrong and what the rules of evidence are and what the case law is and how easy the job should be, I feel like I automatically go into a different zone where I'm like, well, if you know all of this, then why don't you represent yourself? Give you an example. I just had a call today, just out of the blue. Someone called me, another jurisdiction. I don't even know if it was the same state. And that person had some drug trafficking charges. Very, very common. People call and sort of, you could tell that they're not calling you for a consultation. They're really just trying to call to get some basic information about law. And, because I'm kind and I'm driving, a lot of times I'll just do the consultation, even though I know they have no intention of hiring me, either because it's in another jurisdiction that I don't practice, or they're just trying to get some basic information. But ultimately, this guy calls and he says, look, I used to be addicted to drugs. I've had some issues in my life, and I received 3 drug trafficking charges. Okay, so, one of my questions is there a minimum mandatory? In Florida, there is 3 years, 7 year, 15, or 25, and the max sentence is 30 years. So they say yes, in their jurisdiction, their state, whatever, that there's a 15-year minimum mandatory sentence. So at least one of the 3 trafficking charges. And the guy tells me, yeah, it's like cocaine, weed, and pills. And apparently he had been prescribed pills for, a whole bunch of years or something, right? So instead of just telling me the story, he's like, well, my lawyer didn't do this and my lawyer didn't do that. And I'm like, oh, okay. The law is this, and he took deposition and they admitted that they broke this rule and that rule, but no one's done anything. Well, I patiently waited, and I said, okay, well, the first thing is if your attorney takes a deposition and there's allegations or he believes, based on the facts that are given to him by the deponent, right, the cop testifying, that there's a motion, then it's upon the attorney to file a motion to suppress evidence. Okay, well, what happens if there's mistakes made after? Well, if they're not dispositive, if they don't make a change to the case, they may not be helpful. They may be a mitigating circumstance, but they may not take your minimum mandatory sentence away. But I guess the part that bothered me is this guy and other guys and other gals have called my office, and they're literally just throwing their attorney under the bus. And with this guy, I just stopped him. I said, listen, you're just saying so many negative things about the attorney that you hired, or maybe not, maybe it was a public defender, who knows. But, your attorney didn't put the cocaine in your hands. The attorney didn't put the pills in your hands. The attorney didn't put the weed in your hands. So you have to take some responsibility for what's going on. Well, of course, the response was, well, doesn't he have a duty to do the best of his ability? Yeah, but I don't know if there's something dispositive in your case. There's nothing that you've shared in your story that you just shared with me that would say, oh, you were detained for a couple of hours. Okay, that's pretty common. You read your Miranda rights and you asked for an attorney, but they still talk to you. Okay, well, that's only important if you gave some statement against insurance. So, for instance, folks, if the police are there, they're searching your car, they're searching your home, They have a warrant, they don't have a warrant, whatever the case, but they're searching. You're in handcuffs, they come over to you, you're under arrest, you have the right to remain silent, and they read your Miranda warnings. And you say, I want a lawyer. Well, they don't have to give you a lawyer on the side of the road, and they don't need to bring an attorney to your house, right? So at that point, all that really means, the Miranda case, is that if they ask you any further questions and you give a statement against interest like, that cocaine is mine, or I'm just an addict and those pills are all mine, or I grow that weed because I have a medical issue and I need medical marijuana. Well, if they ask you questions and you give statements against interest, hence a confession, then your attorney can file a motion. But if they simply go, okay, you want an attorney? Okay. And they hold you there for a couple of hours while they're counting trees or counting your pills or doing fingerprints or checking DNA or breaking lamps or whatever the heck police are doing, that doesn't mean that your case is going to go away because you sat there handcuffed for a couple of hours while they completed their search and maybe got their warrant signed by a judge or to go into other areas like your cell phone or whatever. So it's just funny, like people call and they're just like, oh, my attorney this and my attorney that. And I'm like, look, maybe you have a horrible attorney. I guess it's possible. But my recommendation would be when you're consulting with an attorney or asking an attorney for free advice during a consult, or I don't know what you call it. It's not really a consult if it's in another state, because I really don't represent people in other states. But maybe you should just stick to the facts and not what the police did wrong, or what you think your lawyer did wrong, or what the judge did wrong, or what the bondsman did wrong. Because if you're not an attorney, what you perceive to be right or wrong isn't really what it goes by. It goes by whether or not there's case law on the subject. And if someone else in the court system had a similar case to you and they got house arrest or probation, or the case was dismissed, well, every case is different. Every fact pattern is different. So I don't know. You know what? I'm driving back from court. I get this call and I just go, because again, as soon as they call, I know that they're not really looking for an attorney. They're looking for, I don't know what they're looking for someone to agree with them on the phone and say how wonderful and intelligent they are. And my goodness, you're better than most attorneys I know. I don't know. Maybe that's what they want to hear. I'm just not the one to do it, because I'm hearing a one-sided fact pattern. Just like when I read a police report, I don't believe it. It's one perspective. It's one side of the story. Hence, I dig everything up that an officer says in a police report. So if someone calls me and tells me, oh, my attorney sucks and the prosecutor did this wrong and the cops did this wrong and the judges, I'm like, starting to wonder if there's a mental health issue. At least it goes through my mind. So if you really want to know what an attorney's thinking, when you start telling them the law, it's, well, maybe you should represent yourself because you're just such an outstanding advocate for yourself, then maybe you should just represent yourself. Or, oh my goodness, like, I can't believe Harvard didn't take you. Or, I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking, why are you calling me? Because I don't do well with the clients that are know-it-alls. Because as an attorney, doing it 15 years, I don't know it all. I still find things that I have to research. I still call other attorneys and go, hey, I don't know this. I still ask a judge a question if I don't understand something that he said. If a prosecutor tells me that there's case law on a topic, I go, can you share it? Because I haven't seen that case law. So I don't know it all. So I guess when people who don't have a law degree tell me they know it all, I kind of go, yeah, I'm probably not the guy for you because I don't know it all. And since you do, maybe you should just do it all. Anyway, I'm attorney Roger P. Foley, and that's my little story for the day. God bless y'all. See ya.